when we started, there was no structure at all in Belgium for the kind of music we were doing. People were not really understanding what we were trying to express. And so there was no one to help us in terms of sound, in terms of graphism, production and so. And so we were quite alone, and we were not fitting with any kind of type of music of the time. There was, of course, new wave and industrial music with the people like Throbbing Gristle and Cabaret Voltaire. There were punk bands and stuff, but we were fitting with nothing. We were not. We were feeling like the next generation after all those German bands from the Neue Welle with Kraftwerk and Neu and all that, but we were not close to them. We were the next step, and we were labeled so many times in the beginning by something that was absolutely not representing what we were doing. And so we analyzed what we were doing, and of course we were doing electronic music, and we were trying to put something that was missing at the time in electronic music, which was the body, the sweat, all the things that were really physical. And that's why we came up with the electronic body music term. But that was back in 84 actually. And of course, I think that 242 still today is trying to aim the same goal, trying to be something efficient, strong, with a sound research, but always talking to the body. You know that all the live shows are very physical as well, so I think it's really 242. But of course, through the years, the sound, there's an evolution in the sound, and I don't think that we are really producing pure EBM right now. But I also think that back then, the people who started to do music after us, who used the EBM word, electronic body music, to describe themselves, were wrong, in my opinion. They were doing electronic music, but the body was most of the time missing. So I know there's a huge scene called EBM, but I don't think we really belong to that scene, which is strange because the scene came after us because of us, but we feel so apart. So maybe it may sound pretentious to say that 242 is completely apart. I think that Kraftwerk is the same, even if I consider 242 not reaching the same level of quality of Kraftwerk. I'm trying to be humble, but Kraftwerk is Kraftwerk. It's impossible to put another label on them. And I think it's a bit the same for Front 242. I think that the base of 242 was always the same. The way we were working was the same, the structure was the same. We were never trying to do a structure where you had an intro, a verse, a chorus, a verse. We did something like that, but that was not the aim of the band. We were trying to put sounds together, more like a collage, trying to find a theme coming out of the song. Sometimes it would be just a bass line or a sample, and on that theme said, okay, what can I say about it? What is interesting in the news or in the media right now, or in the history of mankind, that I could put on those sounds. So we always were working like that. The difference is that, as I said, we were trying each time with the same soup to put new ingredients. In the early 90s, we tried to put some guitar sounds, but we never tried to be guitar players because we're not. So we take a guitar and try to get some interesting sound out of a guitar and rework it with the electronic equipment we had. That was one of the steps. So I think that each time we were trying to do that, because if you listen to Geography and you listen to Pulse, the basic is the same. It's 242, but the treatments and
recognize it immediately.
I think so, yeah. And the treatments would be different, the production would be different, and probably the energy is different because there was 25 years between those two albums. But it's still, to me, the same soup.
The same soup.
The good thing about 242, and we can't explain it, but it's a fact. It's true that we were playing Mera Luna, and we played a Wave Gothic Treffen in Belgium, which is basically, those festivals are basically gothic, industrial, dark festivals, and we fit there perfectly because, as you said, we have an audience there. On the other hand, we can play in the same country in Germany in a rave where it's only techno DJs. Yeah. We can go play down in Spain, in places like Monegro, which is one of the biggest electronic techno festival, where you have DJs from pure techno, hardcore techno, to house music, and we fit there perfectly too. So I don't know, is it because the range of sound that 242 is producing that we can reach different mentalities of people? We even once played in a big heavy metal festival in Germany where all the bands were long hair and guitar, and we were just, no, I'm serious. And we didn't know why the promoter did that. And we, of course, there were a few people who were not happy with it, but most of the crowd reacted the right way. We have no explanation for that. I think that there's probably one thing that people can recognize in 242, and that's something we're very proud of, is that we always respect any kind of audience. Because when you do music, any artist is always expressing himself for himself. You don't do music when you start to say, I'm going to sell it to 1 million people. You do your music because you're excited, because you like what you do, and you try to do it the best way because you want it to be good. After that, of course, the process of putting it on the market, when you put it on the market, it's there for everyone. And when someone pays a ticket to come and see you because they like your music and they want to feel something strong, if the audience is a gothic audience or a punk audience or whatever, 242 is there. What is great about being in a band and doing music like this that is reaching different kind of people everywhere in the world is that we travel. And what is good about traveling is meeting different kind of people, different culture. We're so happy to be here now. It's the first time playing in Budapest. And after so many years, we finally got a chance to reach the audience here. And you learn from traveling and meeting people, and we are open. It's the same in art. It doesn't mean that I like everything, but I'm open to everything. I try to be aware of everything that goes on. I'm not always successful of finding something that I like, but at least I'm trying. And as you said, when I turn on the radio, it's also depending in which country you are and what kind of radio station you turn on. But we're lucky in Belgium to we have national radio, and the programmation, the playlist of those radio are so good. They can, especially like Saturday afternoon, I have 5 hours of music on a national radio where they can play tunes from the 70s to up to now, from R&B to hardcore techno, but it's so clever, well done, that I'm feeling good. And it can be a simple song, house track, and then something like Sigur Rós, something more complicated, and then something hard, and then something like with melody, and I feel comfortable with that. The big time of 242 is kind of behind us, and we know that. We're proud of what we did. We know that we try to do things a certain way, and we try to put a brick in the wall of the history of music. I think that somewhere we succeeded, and now we're just taking the profit of all that work, and we do what we want when we want. There's no inspiration right now to produce a new album. We won't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's as simple as that.
I'm on the other side.